I found some shopping hacks that saved me thousands of dollars over the course of the past years. I used to shop like most people, go into the store and then buy stuff to have nice outfits, right? But that cost quite a lot of money, especially when you like a nice style and you go for higher quality, more expensive items like I do. Now, luckily, I found a few tricks that helped me save money but still buy the things I love. So basically, I upgraded my life while at the same time protecting my financial goals. And since we want to get the most out of our earned money on both sides, right? So the spending and the building wealth, let me show you how I spend less money and still wear better outfits. It's 5 tips and a bonus tip in the end. If we haven't met, I'm Sophia. I've been learning about money and investing for the past decade. And here on this channel, we explore the strategies how to build wealth, but without living frugal. Because frugal, not my thing. All right, and now let's dive in with tip number 1, buy in sale stores. A tip that I discovered early to save money is to buy in sales stores. When I was still a student, I used to buy in those cheap fast fashion stores, right? Like I guess a lot of students and young people do. But after some time, I noticed that I couldn't wear them as long as I wanted to. Because the lack of quality showed, and then I didn't want to wear them anymore because I didn't feel comfortable in them anymore. So I wanted to go for higher quality, but I didn't have the money, right? I wasn't earning a full-time salary yet. I only had money coming in from a side job, and I couldn't spend like hundreds and hundreds of dollars on clothes like I do now. But then I discovered a store, more specifically a section within a store. It was a TK Maxx. I think in the US it's called TJ Maxx. I don't know if you know this, but it's practically a store that has like everything on sale. And now most of the stuff in there, in my personal opinion, is also kind of like fast fashion. So it wouldn't have made a difference, to go to the fast fashion stores from before and then buy there. But I found a little corner that was called Gold Label. And what they had there was designer clothes on massive sale. I'm talking like 50%, 60%, 70% here. So a shirt that usually costs a couple of $100 now was basically the same price than all the other stuff that I had bought before. So by discovering that corner, I was able to buy higher quality things for a massive discount. And I'm telling you, some of those things I still have today after 10 plus years. Now I have to admit, it takes a little patience to go there because it's not like you go in there and then you find a piece that you like and then they have it in every size, because it's on sale. Usually there's 1 or 2 pieces left and then you have to do a lot of like digging to figure out if they have it in your size and if they have, styles that you really like and that suit you. But if you are willing to invest the time, then this can really pay off money-wise. Another example for a sales store like this, I remember when I was in the US, I went to Nordstrom Rack. This one time, oh God, I think I entered at like 10 a.m. and I went out of there at like 5 p.m. I turned around every item and I found some really nice things that I also still have today. Not all of them, but some of them. And similar to those sales stores are outlet villages. Maybe you've heard of them before. Usually in either smaller cities or like an hour away from major cities. And then it's like a little village with all these little stores that have their clothes and also other items, kitchen items and stuff on sale. But I wanna add a word of caution here. Now, first, a word of caution in general when it comes to things on sale. Beware of this psychological dynamic that when something is like massively on sale, you might be more tempted to buy it even though you might not need it. So really watch out if the thing that you're about to buy fits 100% within your everything, in your wardrobe, in your style, in your outfits, in your home. And don't just buy it because it's 80% off, And particularly to those outlet villages, what I have heard and experienced myself. Now, there are some pieces that are just last season. So they were sold in a regular store before, but now they are out of season and then they go into the outlet village, right? And then in those cases, you will also only find very few pieces left because the rest of them sold out during the season, right? But you will find in those outlet villages that there are also pieces, especially the ones that they do have in like every size. For me, that's always kind of like a hint, that have been specifically designed for these outlet villages, right? And because they offer them for a lower price, this also may come with a lower quality than you may be used to with the brand you're buying from. Now, this is not an exact science here. Those are more like observations I did over the past years buying in those outlet villages. I just want you to keep an extra eye out for the quality of the thing when you go out shopping in an outlet village like that. Or you can avoid this altogether, and that brings us to the next tip. You can wait for big sales. Now, you already know this. To make room for new seasonal clothing, there's typically these huge summer and winter sales. So this is a time where you find the regular lines from the brands on massive sale, also in the regular stores, right? So you don't have to worry about the quality. You may have to worry about the size because, your size may already be sold out. But nevertheless, this is also a great opportunity to save lots and lots of money. Now, here's what I do. Throughout the year, when I'm exhausted and I just want to lay on my sofa and scroll, through my favorite brands or online stores, I go through the category new in. So I basically look at what's new in the season, every now and then. And then I put the items that I really like into my wish list. And then I wait. I wait until they are on sale. And sometimes I'm lucky and I could really save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on this strategy. But again, one note on that. So if you find an item that you really, really, really want to have, it may happen that it never goes on sale because either it's sold out beforehand or it's from a brand or a thing that just never goes on sale. And in those cases, you can consider just buying it for the original price. And I don't know about the stores where you shop, but the online stores that I use, they often have a label on the thing, like only a few items left or last one. And if I see this sign, then it really becomes evident for me. If I really, really want the thing, then I buy it even for the original price. Or I'm like, it's the last one. Yeah, but okay, I'm not really into it that much. So if it gets sold out, I'm okay with it. So this wishlist strategy for me is a way to really prepare for sale as well. Because the things I save in my wish list then are also things that I have thought about, how they fit into different outfits that I have and into my wardrobe as a whole. And then it's less of a risk to fall trap to scroll through the sales site, right? And then buy whatever is on massive sale right now. Then I mostly only look into my wish list and find the things that are planned already. Now, other than the summer and winter sale, as you might know, there are other times in the year when stores offer a sale as well. Usually before every major holiday, brands offer sales or special promotions, like, Mother's Day, Easter, Halloween, stuff like that. Then, of course, you have also a special occasion like Black Friday. By the way, for that, I literally have a tech list in Apple Notes where throughout the year I type in tech items that I could need, because I remember this one time Black Friday was coming up and I was thinking about what I could need, but I couldn't come up with anything. And then the window had passed and afterwards all these ideas popped in my head, what I could have bought during this sales time. So yeah, constantly learning from my mistakes. All right, now before I get to the third tip, I want to let you know that I have a free web class where I share all the strategies that I use to build a multiple six-figure net worth within just a few years and without living frugal. It's live, it's free. If you want to sign up, there's a link down below. All right, and now let's get to tip number 3. What I also use to save money are private sales. So in case you don't want to wait until those huge sales throughout the year, summer and winter sale and stuff, some retailers or maybe also usual brand stores sometimes offer private sales. And that is if you have an account with them, right? So I have to be honest with you, in general, I'm not a fan of having an account, especially accounts with too many brands, because having accounts and getting their emails is just constant temptation in your inbox to buy. But for this occasion, a private sale, or even when they offer you a discount before the things go on sale for the whole public, then you can also massively save on items that you want. So in case you are not absolutely hyper-focused on a financial goal right now, and you are more focused on maybe building your wardrobe and building your style, then this is a good way to save money. Now for private sales, by the way, you can use the same wish list strategy that I used in the tip before. So you can create your wish list beforehand, so during times, during the season. And then when a private sale comes up, then you can check if something from your wish list is part of that private sale. Now, I'm not sure, but maybe it's even possible that you get a notification only when a thing on your wish list is on sale. You know, so not the general promotions, but only very specific promotions. But you can check that with wherever you usually buy your stuff. All right, now tips number 1 to 3 were more on the still buy stuff, but save on the price, right? Now tip number 4 is elevate what you already have with accessories. So this is not so much a shopping hack, but rather a style hack. Because from a financial perspective, obviously the best way to save on clothes is to buy less. But if you still want to look polished and elevate your existing outfits, or maybe also change it up a little bit, then what you can do is you can add some high quality accessories. So think belts, think watches, think jewelry like necklaces, etc. Also handbags or scarves. For men, think pocket squares. Now, I don't know if you're wearing a suit, and I'm also not specialized in menswear, but I can imagine that owning 3 different pocket squares makes the same suit look different every time, right? So this would be the time to get creative and make what you already have look different through accessories. What I could also imagine, for example, are belts in different colors, right? Tip number 5 is yet another category, and it's negotiate. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't done this before because I'm a chicken. But I talked to a friend recently, and this is also the reason why I wanted to add it to this list. So they went into the store and they bought a lot of stuff, like expensive stuff. And then they negotiated, and I think it was like 25% off. And I don't know, maybe it wasn't on everything, but then on the last piece or on the last few pieces. But when you already buy a lot, then it definitely doesn't hurt to ask, right? And this can make a huge, huge difference. In a case like this, you don't even need to wait for sale. You can just get a discount on the seasonal stuff. It's brilliant. All right, and now here's a bonus tip. And it's a bonus tip because you obviously can't apply it like every time. But what I have found, like in the past few years, I think it's best to buy from brands in the country where the brand is from. So I luckily live in Europe, and I noticed this when I was looking at a Louis Vuitton bag, because Louis Vuitton is French, and even though they're obviously very expensive bags, it's still like cheapest when you actually buy them in the European Union, because the European Union counts like as domestic, so they have the same price throughout Europe. But I noticed that the same bag, for example, in the US, is more expensive, and that is due to transportation and customs. And I can also imagine, I mean, I'm not really sure, but I can imagine that Polo Ralph Lauren, for example, which is a US firm, is more expensive here in Europe than it is in the US. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to tell you to switch continents to go shopping, because obviously the trip itself is very expensive too. But may you find yourself on a holiday, you know, then maybe it doesn't hurt to plan a little bit in advance if there's something you want to buy from a European brand or a US brand or wherever you are and what you want to buy, to just keep that in the back of your head, that it might be less expensive in the country of origin. And by the way, there's a bonus tip on the bonus tip, because when you buy in a country where you're not a resident in, you can get a refund on the VAT. In Germany, for example, that would be 19%. In France, this would be even 20%. Now, of course, then when you go back in your country of residence, you have to declare those goods and have to pay the customs, but this can still be cheaper as if you would have bought it in your own country. Again, depending where you live and what you usually shop, but just so you've heard it. And now where you have all those tips where you can save on what you plan on buying, I will link a playlist for you here that will help you to better plan on what you want to buy, if that makes any sense. This is another great savings potential. And now, if you're still here, thank you for watching. I hope you got some value out of this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.